Gardner Webb who? No one knew who the Bulldogs were until this past week when they pulled quite the upset over the Wildcats. And how would the football Wildcats rebound against the Commodores after a bye week to heal their wounds? And the women's soccer team played Florida in the first round of the SEC tourney. How did they do? And what about the women's volleyball team? Could they get to 20 wins on the season? Get your Kentucky flag ready because Sportszone 50 starts right now.
You ready? Let's go! 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Welcome in everyone to Sportszone 50, your only student sports authority. I'm Ryan Mollenkoff. Justin is off for the week, so I have Sarah Livesay by my side. Well, if you bought your travel pack for New York City, you won't be seeing Merle Bradley and his Kentucky Wildcats. Bradley won't be making his way back home, at least be playing basketball, because Gardner Webb who defeated Kentucky in Rupp Arena this past week, 84-68. If you haven't heard, the big stat of the game was Gardner Webb shooting over 53% from the field, while Kentucky was just shooting 35% from the field. And this was the biggest upset in UK history, and Billy Gillespie was not happy after the game.
It was number 25 Kentucky going down to Nashville this past weekend to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. And although Coach Rich Brooks is 3-1 against Vandy, the Wildcats still had to put up a fight. And what a big win for UK to get back on track. And now let's go to Justin Keene. Justin, how was the big win for Kentucky?
Following the week off, the Kentucky Wildcats came out in Nashville to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores.
It's a real physical game. You know, we thought that, they come out trying to run the ball and, we do the same at them. So, it was just everything that we expected. And, Vanderbilt's a tough team, so they came out to play hard.
In the middle of the fourth quarter, the Cats again battling, hard-fought defense. The Cats scored at the end of the game, 27-20, held the Vanderbilt Commodores at the end of the game to win.
It's huge. It's just one more step that we got to take to try to get where we want. And, every win from here on out counts, just like the rest of them. So.
And with a big game coming up against Georgia, all the Cats are looking forward to is to moving up in the rankings, moving up in the SEC.
We've been here, so let's move on to bigger and better things. Not necessarily bigger and better things, but we've been this route before, so let's do something else, and we got the opportunity to do it.
From Nashville, back to you, Ryan and Justin.
Thanks, Justin. And after the win, Kentucky moves up in the latest AP poll to 23 in the nation, and the Cats jump up 5 spots to 20 in the USA Today coaches poll. But the bad news for the Cats is that Kentucky was officially knocked out of the SEC East contention when Florida defeated South Carolina Saturday 51-31.
Well, it was definitely a step in the right direction as the Cats are going to win. They're going to win out this year to get to 9 wins, but they will have to go through a tough game this next week in Athens, Georgia, as the Wildcats travel down to face number 8 ranked Georgia Bulldogs.
It was the women's soccer team who faced Florida in the first round of the SEC tournament, and Florida got off to a quick lead and never looked back as Florida defeated the Lady Cats 4-0. And the women's soccer team officially ends their season 10-7-3, and they went 4-0-1 to conclude the season to become the only team in the league history to advance to every SEC tournament since the inception of the tournament in 1993. An amazing feat to accomplish for the women's team.
Welcome everybody to our new segment this week. It's called Cat Zone, where we sit down with our athlete of the week. This week we are fortunate enough to be with Megan Jones. Megan is one of 6 seniors on the UK women's soccer team. She has also started in all 20 games for the Lady Cats so far this year. Megan, just talk about the season. How do you feel the season went?
Well, overall, it went okay. Definitely could have done better. Always you want to win and go as far as you can as a senior. We started off very well, undefeated, tied 2 top 25 teams in the country. Had a rocky start to the SEC season, 0-6. We picked it up at the end, made the SEC tournament, and overall it wasn't the most horrible season, but we picked it up at the end, did well.
Being one of 6 seniors, would you consider, or what leadership roles did you take?
Definitely had to be strong and not give up, especially when you start off with 6 losses and are defeated. You think that you can't make it. We had to stay positive, encourage the younger people, and we've been through this before, adversity in the past 3 years, and know what it's like to almost not make it. So just had to encourage them and keep playing hard on the field.
Talk about that last little stretch. You guys put on a little 4-0-1 run just to make it to the SEC tournament. Talk about that.
Oh, yeah. We came together as a team at the end, said that we had to do it. It was a do-or-die matter. We knew we couldn't lose. We had to win. And not only did we win, but we played well. We dominated. We executed from the freshmen to the seniors, from starters to non-starters. Everybody did really well, and we came together. Now,
you all lost to Florida 4-0, but I mean, they go on to win the SEC championship. So how does that make you feel? You know, you lost. Even though you lost, you still lost to the SEC champion. So. Right.
It was hard to lose just because the previous year we won the SEC tournament and beat Florida. So we know we're capable of beating Florida. Had most of the same starters on the team. It was unfortunate. I think Florida was more prepared than we are, had more confidence going out there. If we could do it over again, I don't think the score would be the same, but can't take it back.
Looking back at your final season, would you consider it a success?
I would consider it a success just because we came together in the end. We learned a lot. We completed our goal of making it to the SEC tournament, but definitely could have been better had we been playing as well as we did at the end, in the beginning.
Well, talking to you, we found out you're from Georgia. You're not from Kentucky. What made you decide to come to Kentucky?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to go out of state. I loved to play for the SEC, great conference. So looked at various schools, and Kentucky seemed to be a perfect fit. Great athletics, nice city, nice people.
10 or 20 years from now, when you look back at your college career, what will stick out most to you?
Winning the SEC tournament. It was pretty great for us. Second time in Kentucky history, so to be a part of that, it's a good experience.
So what's new? What's coming up for Megan Jones?
What's new? Well, could graduate, could take a 5th year. Not really sure yet. Not ready to enter the real world, so maybe go for grad school.
Any future soccer plans?
No. Maybe coaching, but definitely retired at play.
All right, well, thanks for coming on this week, Megan, and we're glad to have her. And that's it for this edition of Cat Zone. And it was the men's soccer team in their final regular season game taking on South Carolina before the Conference USA tournament. And the Gamecocks forward Mike Lindsay netted the only 2 South Carolina goals, including the game winner in overtime, to give the Gamecocks a 2-1 win in OT. The lone goal for Kentucky was scored by freshman Luke Matlin, and Kentucky starts Conference USA tourney play Wednesday, November 14th in Alabama.
And it was the women's volleyball team hosting South Carolina and Florida over the weekend to close out the season. And on Friday, Kentucky defeated the Gamecocks 3-0, and the game scores were 30-19, 30-24, and 30-28. And with that win, the Lady Cats captured their first 20-win season since 1993. And then on Sunday, UK fell 3 straight games to Florida, 28-30, 19-30, and 22-30, as the Wildcats fell 3-0 on Senior Day. Kentucky returns to action on Wednesday, November 14th, when it travels to Knoxville, Tennessee, to take on Tennessee Lady Vols.
And the men's hockey team had a tough weekend as they tied Wright State on Friday 3-3, and then they fell on Saturday to 4-2 as the Raiders took the series from the Cool Cats. The hockey team is back in action November 30th against Ohio State at midnight. Well, Sarah, give the Sports Zone faithful something to do this week other than watch our show over and over on Channel 50.
And YouTube. Well, I'm going to say get out and enjoy your beautiful scenery. There's nothing better than the Kentucky trees when they turn colors in the late fall and early winter.
Well, nicely done, Sarah, and that does it for everyone here at Sports Zone 50. Thanks for everyone for watching. We'll be back next week to get all your UK Georgia coverage. We're sending a crew down there, so we'll definitely have everything, the post-game and the highlights for you. I'm Ryan Mollenkoff.
And I'm Sarah Livesay.
Remember, go to class, use a designated driver, and always bleed blue. Have a great week, everybody.